I can hear your volume. सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। We would be starting the second chapter and the fourth Valli. If you are following this book with this cover, you can discover that on page 171. One of the most amazing Upanishads, because you would see that almost from every single Valli, every single chapter here, Bhagavan Krishna has used the mantras as is from Kathopanishad as his quick reference in Bhagavad Gita. So I am assuming if Bhagavan Krishna were present here and we would ask, which is your favorite Upanishad? It is obvious that he might pick, this is my imagination, okay. So he might pick this Upanishad because we have seen the horse and the chariot example. We have seen the direct usage of the verbiage also from here, wherein the sequence of the indriyas to the antakarana and beyond, the entire sequence was given, entire sadhana was said. And even as we move forward from this Valli onwards, we will see that there are many shlokas that depict these mantras. I have said this earlier, whenever we talk about the Vedic literature, they are not referred to as shlokas, they are always referred to as mantras. Whereas when we refer to the things which are in the Smriti Itihasa other than the Vedas, then we call them as shlokas. So Bhagavad Gita, it is called shloka, but the original is always called the mantra, the mantra. And so far Bhagavan Krishna, our Lord Yama has given a direct message to his third boon that was sought after. And as if the last chapter that he said was not enough, because there are enough pointers given for a really good able sadhak as a guidance. But here there are more details, nitty-gritty details covered as to how or what it means to experience that which we call as the self experience or the experience of the unlimited. How does it or what is it? That is explained in this worldly. But first we take to the idea of why is it that we are not able to experience it. Very beautifully laid out. So we start with the first mantra. Please repeat after me. Paranchikhani vyatrunasvayambhuhu vyatrunasvayambhuhu tasmat paran pashyati nantaratman tasmat paran pashyati nantaratman kaschid dhirah pratyagatmanamaikshat pratyagatmanamaikshat avrittachakshuramrutattvamichan avrittachakshuramrutattvamichan. Swayambhuhu, Swayambhu is the one who was born without a cause, and he is the creator Brahma. So that Brahmaji, when he was creating this creation, what was the default setting of the creatures, that is all of us, that is discussed here. Without understanding the infrastructure, trying to mitigate our way into the spiritual world will be very frustrating. Like you go to Georgia, even with a GPS, you will be confused. Why? Every street is a peach street. Atlanta, Georgia, wherein it's a peach boulevard, peach court, peach this, peach that. It's very confusing. Unless you know those roads really thoroughly well. Suddenly there will be 3 lanes, they will suddenly become 1 lane. The entire downtown is a very amazing experience to go through. If you are driving for the first time, it will keep you on your edge. Similarly will be the experience of someone who is trying to follow the path of spirituality and does not understand how is it that each one of these equipment that we are having, what is the default setting? Understand the default setting, understand its manufacturing code. What is the manufacturing code? Is very simple. Paranchikhani vyatrunat swayambhuhu. Vyatrunat. Vyatrunat. Trunat is with a sort of a blemish. If there were to be a blemish identified in the creator's creation as us beings, what would it be? Vyatrunat. Vyatrunat, a very striking blemish. What is the striking blemish? The instruments that we have been given, how have they been constructed? Paranchikhani, they are meant to go outwardly. Khani are the golakani, the indriyas. How are they made? Paranchi. They are made to always explore the external. They come with the default explorer. And how is the default explorer? It's only outside, outwardly. It goes into the world outwardly and gets caught in the world web. World Wide Web, it gets caught in that web. I don't know why I am talking in this language today, but that is what is flowing out. I am also amazed. There must be some prarabdha. So, paranchikhani vyatruna swayambhuhu paran pashyati na antaratman. They are manufactured in such a way that they only explore the outside world, the externalities. Paran eva pashyati. They are meant to see, observe, explore the outside world only. And through those equipments, if we are trying to identify the subtlest of the truths, ढूंढते रह जाओगे. You would not find it. You would keep searching for it. So constantly what are we doing? Constantly busy. Have you ever seen, gone to a zoo? I'm sure you must have. The most interesting animal for me, for my observations, I go there, sit and observe, is a monkey. Different kinds of monkeys, the same pattern. Why am I so fascinated? I am yet to see a monkey which can sit quietly on a branch for a couple of moments. It constantly is doing something or the other, fidgeting with something or the other. Either it is fidgeting with itself or it holds on to someone and starts fidgeting them, but cannot sit quiet. Tell me if I am wrong. Have you ever found a monkey sitting on a branch in a very meditative poise? About to realize monkey. Never ever. Similarly, we are constantly fidgeting, constantly doing, constantly searching, constantly seeking. But where are we searching? With what are we searching? And what exactly are we searching? We are searching in the wrong place. We are searching with the wrong instruments. And that which is of the subtlest of the natures, we are trying to find that with the grossest of the equipment in the grossness of the world outside. Will we ever find that which is that subtle through the gross equipments and through into the grossness of the world? So frustrating is the experience wherein it's very disappointing. All that I end up seeing day in and day out with every single experience is limited versions of limitations. Anywhere that I turn to, all that I perceive, all that I experience is limitations, again limitations and limitations. And imagine someone who has been keenly searching. Now all that he has experienced or she has experienced is limitations. And there comes somebody with a Bhagavad Gita book. Gives them the message of the day. And what is the message? Be satisfied with what you have. What is the individual's reaction? I said, what kind of a message is that? I am frustrated with my limitations and you say that be satisfied with your limitations. I am not satisfied. Why should I be satisfied? It is also a right message, but given to a right person in a wrong circumstances. It has not been well explained. Be satisfied with the world outside because that is the best that it can give you. It cannot give you fulfillment of a lifetime. Though there are so many things that people give lifetime achievement award, but it will not give you lifetime fulfillment. Because it is not there in it. The sooner we change our convictions that my happiness, the bliss that I am searching for, is not out there in the world. The first conviction to change. Second, use the equipment to navigate through the limitations of the world outside, but not to search for that happiness. Why? The world is limited, it cannot give me happiness. Even if it were to give me happiness, the instruments through which I am seeing, the instruments through which I am trying to perceive, they are not designed to perceive that truth. See, we are very specific and scientific minded, right? Yes, so move your head upwardly, no sidewardly. If we have to say dissect a flower and see what is there in this cross section, what is the instrument that we would use? Telescope? Binoculars? No, we would want to use the best of the microscope. Why? That is its scope. And hence therefore we use the right gadget. The gadgets that we are using, is it meant for it? We don't even pause to analyze it. Just because I see and it triggers some kind of thought agitation, let me go search there. Just because I hear, I go search that field. Just because I feel everywhere that I can stretch myself. Constantly I feel like we are like monkeys. Constantly fidgeting with the world outside. So much is the habit of fidgeting, lives after lives after life. To sit quietly is almost like a punishment. And don't we give that to our children also? If they are too agitated, you send them to a corner. What do you call that here? Time out. I don't know how it works, because if back in India I were given a time out, I would freak out. Meaning I would enjoy it. Even in India the punishment were that you are isolated and asked to do something outside the classroom, kneel down or do something. Life after life we have been going through that fidgeting nature. Pause, understand. The Upanishad has so clearly said that. The world is limited, it cannot give you unlimited joy. The instruments through which you are trying to perceive it are limited, cannot enjoy that which you are searching. Because the instrument that which we are using are not meant for that. I keep giving this example. If this room was dark, there is a little resound. Can you reduce the volume? So if there is darkness in this room, how do you remove darkness? Can you get a powerful vacuum cleaner and suck out all the darkness? Can you suck out? Perfect. Can you suck out all the darkness with your powerful vacuum? The interest is right, the effort is right, but the means that which we are using is wrong. And day in and day after you do the same experiment again and again and again, and you don't get that result. At the end of the day, there is a frown on the face. though we love to sign off with a smiley face, but actual experience is a complete dissatisfaction. And we have now mastered, okay, this doesn't work, let me go search some other thing. Maybe a powerful bleach, throw it into the dark room and suddenly the darkness will all get bleached out and there will be whiteness. It doesn't happen that way. What is the right means to take away darkness? Tamasoma jyotirgamaya. If the darkness has to be removed, there is only one way to remove that darkness: bring light. Because there where there is light, there cannot be darkness. And what is the problem here? The problem with us is we need not create happiness. What a sad state really. Why is it a sad state? We are sitting on a treasure, okay, unaware that it is a treasure. And what are we doing sitting on that treasure? Begging alms with the people, wayside people, wayward people were going up and down for our survival. And we are demanding things from the world. Please give me recognition. Please give me love. कहो ना प्यार है. Please say that you love me. Everything is to be a demand from the world. And that world from which I am demanding it is also limited. Can it give it back to me? It cannot. And because it cannot fulfill, and I am searching there for that, and that discontentment leads to frustration. And whoever be that one that I am expecting, anticipating my blissful nature, if and when they cannot give me that happiness, all the frustrations, the floodgates are opened. Boom, it gets vomited out onto the world. And then we have such beautiful statements to cover it up. I get angry with you only because I love. अरे अजीब दास्ता है भैया. Do you see the fallacy in the entire network? So what should be the solution? Kaschid dhiraha, and here our Lord Yama very carefully chooses the words. He does not mention in plural, he mentions a singular case. Kaschit dhiraha eva. One in a million, one, now we should change this slogan, one in a billion. We have what, 7 billion now, right? 1 in 7 billion to be specific. 1 in a generation. Dhiraha pratyagatmanam aikshata. They pause. Why am I running around? What am I running around for? What exactly is it that I want in my life? Very few who pause to understand, very few who pause to question. Because it seems like we are in a hurry and we are all in that treadmill syndrome. Running and running and running, reaching nowhere. Must have been our Purva Janma Prarabdha. We had been a bad hamster. And in this Janma we are fulfilling that running thing. let me pause. Why am I running? What am I running for? Because as soon as the child is born, the entire conditioning around the child hurries that child into first learning to walk, first trying to say something. The entire universe around is trying to condition, hurry up that child into one conditioning or the other. Okay, we have gone through the same conditioning. Has it benefited us? Even as parents, even as adults, even as well-wishers, we don't even pause. This is what I have gone through, this is what you shall go through. So we hurry them. And the parents are really eager. And they come with a 4-year-old. Swamiji, my child is really smart. He can understand and say these shlokas. I think you should take him into kindergarten. Jaldi kya hai? What is the hurry there? The rest of the system is going at 5 years at a pace. We want to rush up 1 year ahead. Kya bada ukhadna hai zindagi? What exactly are you rushing in for? And then rush up to learn and do so many things. Put them in every possible field. Best of East, best of West syndrome. So they have to be in ballet, in the toe dance, it's ballet, right? Huh. Just trying to know. So the ballet, then they put them into the complicated, simple things, complicated form of art, dance, Kathakali, Kuchipudi, Bharatanatyam, music. There has to be a piano, and there has to be a violin or a flute or a mridangam. Then this side they have to learn science fairs. What do you call them here? DI, right? Destination, imagination. Destination, imagination, DI. And then they have to bring them for Chinmay mission. East and West I am comparing. And then sports. They have to be into couple of sports. Swimming one day, basketball one day, they carry that stick and a net. Lacrosse, run around. And the parents, they say, my days are so busy with these two children, running after one after the other, one after the other, one after the other. And the busier we keep ourselves, I think it is more successful. Is it necessary? Okay, the list is not completed. Then there is spelling bee, math bee, geography bee, Kumon. The child now ends up saying, come on, how many more? And then the child has to be ushered quickly into plan for your life, and there is ahead of. We have gone through the same exact route. And the child keeps asking, when is it that I will be happy? Finish your 12th SAT and things like that, get into college, you will be happy. Until then we keep showing that radish. College, and the child also thinks, far away from the house, away from these restrictions. Maybe there is truly that freedom, that happiness. First 6 months, the first semester, most of them goof off. And then they realize, oops, I thought that there is freedom and there is unlimited expression, not available. Because they have to pick up majors, pick up their grades, get to that GPA level. Why? There is a mounting pressure of various debts that is staring at that student. By the time they get through the education system, everybody is taking on jobs, 100, 115, 200K. Everybody is aiming for it. As soon as the child is settled in a good job, now no more a child, an adult. What is the next thing? Shadi.com, picture posted, done. Keep searching, keep searching, keep searching, finally find one and then get married. Bache. Get kids now. You know, they are now set into that mode, that conditioning, that momentum will carry them forward. Now, in couple of years, they have 2 or 3 children, Chinnu, Minnu, Bintu. Production engineering is done. Now, re-engineering the produced, because they have gone through the process, they will go through the process again. What is it that we are trying to achieve? Pratyagatmanam aikshata. He pauses, questions, inquires, investigates thoroughly. Then understands the purpose of the outside world and the organs of perception and action are for expression of the gunas. Guna guneshu vartante iti matva na sajjate tana kritsna vido mandan. They get to that achala bhava. There are these gunas and the organs of perception action interact with the gunas outside world. Why? There is vasanas. Let the vasanas express intelligently and let it be washed out. That is the only purpose of the outside world. No more importance, no less importance. Pratyagatmanam aikshata. It says, that which I am searching, where exactly is the point of search? See, if you are not searching, you are exploring. And when you are exploring, you can never get lost. So, even on the internet, if there is one syllable mistake, you land up in a totally different website. Sometimes very scary ones. Oops. Then you check, oh, why did I come to this website? I didn't intend to. If you had an intention to reach and there is a mistake, you can go to some other thing. But you were exploring. You never had an intention. So you can never get lost. The outside world's purpose is not for exploring this valid truth, this unlimited nature of truth. Kaschid dhiraha pratyagatmanam aikshata avritta chakshuhu. This is a very beautiful usage. See, the mantra bhadram karane vishrunuyama devaha bhadram pashye makshabhiryajatraha. There, the eyes, how many eyes do we have? But then they have used a plural. What does it mean? The two that we have are meant for the outside world. The third one, the vision of discrimination, some people refer to it as the sixth sense. For that we have to have lot of common sense, then develop sixth sense. And I think it was Vivekananda ji who defined common sense. The most uncommon thing in the world is common sense. Subtler than that is the sixth sense. So, that vision of discrimination, you turn your search inwardly. That moment of U-turn is a sacred moment in life, because that conviction has changed. The conviction is that my search is not on the outside world. My happiness does not depend on the outside world. That is the turning point. Not understanding that depth or that validity of that conviction and its change, we try, even in the name of spirituality, so many things to do on the to-do list. Swamiji, teach meditation. Why? I will feel obliged, I will feel really good. It's a feel good factor again. Why? I have done meditation also. It is not a process of your processing as you process the outside world. Even before we start these different kinds of spiritual methods, whether it is japa, whether it is puja, whether it is dhyana, whether it is various things, the conviction that has to really be installed is that my happiness is independent of the outside world. The moment this conviction changes, what happens? Dukkha nivritti happens. Dukkha nivritti is not sukha prapti, it is just relief. You have been walking and there was a pebble just under your heel, not a big one, a small little tiny one. And you kept walking, but in that discomfort that it creates, finally you get so tired, and then you take your shoe off, dust it, clean it up and then wear it. What do you feel at that moment? Because you had completely removed the pressure. Now, what is the pressure? Self-inflicted pressure. My happiness is in these people, my happiness is in these things, my happiness is in this. And with everybody I keep waiting. Please give me a little happiness, give me a little, give me. And do they give it to our expectations? I don't know why Shakespeare had to say it, that after they married and after they had, thus they lived happily ever after. Oh, investigate. Did they? Question mark. I am not picking on one institution of marriage or anything. Anything that we do outwardly, that conviction has to be changed. That conviction, when it changes, that it is independent of the externalities, we will be so amazingly cool from inside, peaceful from inside. Let the whole world be on fire, it will not disturb. I am not saying that you are totally disconnected from the world. It is only to that person who is not disturbed from within can be productive even in service. Even when the whole world is on fire and you are not disturbed, that is when you can really empathize with somebody without a hidden agenda and give a due course to that particular action and give 100% when you are doing it. Otherwise, we are carried away with our own hidden agendas. Swamiji, I need to do service. Why? Because it is my necessity to serve. No. So that in these 3 weeks or 4 weeks of service, if I am done, then I can get into that NHS, National Honor Society. That is not the reason why you should do service. Swamiji, can I get to the first session, my child, and I'll teach also. Teaching is not for the entry of your child into the first session. Teaching is for self-unfoldment. See how the processes can be misused. Avritta chakshuhu. What does it mean when we become introvert? Again, introvert does not mean that suddenly stopped speaking, suddenly stopped interacting. There are many people who go through that hangama also a little while in life, in the so-called spiritual unfoldment. Swamiji, the entire external world, as they say in scriptures, has got no happiness. I should be careful with my interactions. Hence, therefore, I am withdrawn. I am no more extrovert. Extrovert ka matlab wo nahi hai. What does that extrovertedness mean? Extrovertedness means if we are still seeking, searching to find that happiness outside. That is called extrovertedness. What is introvertedness? Knowing with conviction, with clarity, that my happiness is right here. A step before that, my happiness is not dependable variable on the outside world. Imagine 99.99% of life's frustrations are burnt to ashes. There is no more chinta. There was a poet, he builds it beautifully. He says, अपनी चिंता को चिता पे चढ़ाओ. Put your chinta on fire. Let it turn into ashes. How would that happen? Can you catch hold of your chinta and put it on fire? No. The day our conviction changes, avritta chakshuhu, when we change, automatically the pressure of expecting the unexpected from the outside world is done. There is nothing wrong with the outside world. There is absolutely nothing wrong. It is our expectation with the outside world to give us that happiness. That is wrong. That is called extrovertedness. Then we get this introvertedness. How do you deal with the outside world? Undisturbed. See, when we were young, we are attached to the toys. If it is boys, they are attached to their cars, and if it is girls, they are attached to the Barbie dolls. I have seen a live example there. We love our dolls, we love our toys. So much so that when there is more than few people are coming to your house and their own kids also coming same age, and the entire basement is filled with toys. And when I look back into my own childhood, probably I had in my entire first elementary school, I probably had what? Kanche? Marbles, and then gilli danda, one ball, one bat. And that bat was also not a professional bat. While growing up in Bombay, they use a bat kind of a thing for the dhobi, the washing the clothes. That was our bat. And any pole, street pole, has the wickets. Now look, they have the entire basement filled with toys. 3 more kids join the tamasha. And the kids see the toys, each one picks one, and this child feels very insecure. Will drop the toy that they are playing with, go for the toy that the other child has picked. I need that only, now only. And then snatching, china chani. And then there you use the opportunity, you should share, give. No. It's a very embarrassing situation between the parents. Right from that age it starts. I need that happiness from there outside. I need to secure it for myself. And we will be released with all those pains. Done, bhasmikrita. Why? I am very clear, my happiness is not in your hands. Ja jo karna kar le. In a typical Hindi language, jo ukhadna ukhad le. You cannot disturb my happiness. Why? It is not in your hands. Look at the fearlessness that comes in. Just to understand and change to be an introvert. That you are not afraid of anything. Now this child who is so attached to the toys, when they grow out of these toys, what does growing out of these toys mean? Is it that they are tying their eyes, closing their ears and their mouth sealed, that they don't see, they don't touch, they don't, nothing of that unnecessary things. Even if the toy were present or the toy were absent, it does not make a dent in their internal. Not even a ripple passes through as a thought. And they may have found a replacement. We don't grow really mature. We only grow out of our attachments to another attachment. That is what we call maturity. And how sophisticatedly we can do it. That is called our maturity in the worldly life. That is not called actual growth. Once we grow with this standpoint, Baba, you are almost independent. Because nothing can bother. Nothing can create that agitation in the head. Can you imagine the situation when there is no agitation? You can't. Sometimes when these blowers are working, you get so used to it that unless the blower stops, you would not know that you are under the pressure of that sound of the blower. I can feel it, because as the blower sound is increasing, my pitch, my volume, my intensity also increases, because I have to exert that much. As soon as the blower goes off, such a relief to my throat. I am sure that would be the same case, such a relief to your ears too. That would be the kind of, 1,000 times more than that relief is when our view, our angle, our whole perception changes introverted. Avritta chakshuhu amritatvam icchan. Without having become an introvert, trying to aim for and do various kinds of gymnastics, they will be called only gymnastics. We will not even, we would not have even stepped even one step on the path of spirituality. We may be doing lot of puja, lot of upasana, lot of japa, lot of vrata, religious, spiritual, probably not. Because when does this sakama puja, sakama japa and all these things help? When they become nishkama. When do you become nishkama? It is not a forceful thing, it is an understanding. It is an unfoldment of understanding. When I understand that I do not need to desire all these things. If it is really there, it will come. When it comes, neither avoid it nor get scared away from it. Let it come, pass by. It is like a breeze. Let it come, pass by. That should be the attitude with the external world. Then you see that you can never get cranky with the world outside. What happens if we still hang on to that world and not change this conviction? So that is given in the second mantra. Paracha kaman anuyanti balaha. Paracha kaman anuyanti balaha. Te mrityoryanti vitatasya pasham. Te mrityoryanti vitatasya pasham. Atha dhira amritatvam viditva. Dhruvam adhruvesh vihana prarthayante. Nahi aprarthayante. Parachaha kaman anuyanti balaha. The definition itself is beautiful. Who is a bala? Bala here means immature. Who is immature? Maturity is not in losing hair, maturity not in graying hair, maturity not in having dentures. Growing old is a default setting, growing wise is a choice. And what is the definition of wise or otherwise is given here. Who is an otherwise? Parachaha kaman anuyanti balaha. Who is a bala? The one who is with a conviction, my happiness, my satisfaction, my contentment is in fulfilling these desires. As soon as these desires get fulfilled, I will be totally content and happy. Ask any generation before you experiment with in that line. Have you reached that which you are aiming to reach? And if they are sincere to answer, the answer would be a straightforward no. Well, I can't say it as no, maybe 50-50. Either you are happy or you are not. There is no in between 50-50. It is not milk, half and half. Either you are or you are not. Have you reached home? 50-50. What does it mean? Does it mean anything? Either you have reached or you have not reached. When somebody asks you a question, are you home? Well, 50-50. Either you are at home, you are not at home. Parachaha kaman anuyanti balaha. Who is immature? Those whose conviction is that my contentment is dependable, variable on the world outside. When I say world outside, world of people, world of things, world of experiences, world of time, world of circumstances. Te mrityor yanti vitatasya pasham. So what happens to these immature? Sorry, Narayana. They fall. That is why most of the accomplishments, even as subtle and as supposed to be beautiful as the experience of love, what do they say? They always fall in love. Take any language, our own language proves it. प्यार में गिर गया. He fell in love. Did it hurt? गिरा होगा ना. That's why Gurudev used to say in his book, it is recorded also in his book called Love Is, letters from Gurudev, love. So there he says, don't fall in love, raise in love. I think he also mentions that in Narada Bhakti Sutras. He says, don't fall in love, raise in love. Don't ask for love, give love. Once these two mantras are understood, all our expectations, all our demands, it will have a different equation. Expectations tending to 0, that is the equation. Otherwise, mrityor yanti vitatasya pasham. We will have a very broad spectrum, vitatasya pasham. What is a broad spectrum pasham? A noose tied around our neck. Meaning, we have given ourselves n number of possibilities to be hanged by neck. Widespread possibility. We found this thing, put that one noose. Other thing, okay. Little did we realize that each one of them is going to strangle your existence to limitations. Everyone hates to the core of their existence anything that will limit their freedom. But who has limited the freedom? Not the outside world. We have chosen to stay limited with our wrong convictions. Vitatasya pasham. Atha, hence, therefore, dhiraha. Dhiraha is saying there are only few, 1 in a billion. That's why dhira. But there are many who are listening to this message. So it is almost like a blessing from Yamaraja himself. He says, there is scope, there is hope. Now what is the hope, what is the scope? Dhiraha amrutatvam viditva. Understanding the path to immortality, understanding the path to the unlimited existence. What is the first thing that they have to change? Stop searching for dhruva in adhruva. Remember this joke always, okay? When somebody says they got a permanent job in a temporary bank, how permanent is that job? The one who is giving you that job itself doesn't have a stake. Does not know if they have their tomorrow or not. Now such a bank, can it give you a permanent job? The temporary world, can it give us permanent joy? The limitations, can it give us unlimited? It cannot. However broad, however wide, however scopeful it may appear, it still is a limitation. Does it make a difference if you are tied with rope or with a rusting iron or with stainless steel or golden shackles? Does it make any difference? You are still bound. And people, in the name of success, display it on their shoulders, display it on their sleeves. I am successful. What does it mean? You have a rope binding you, I have golden shackles binding me. Big deal. Should that be the definition of success? You are getting hit by a stick, I am getting hit by a whacked by a club, a iron golden club. You are getting hit and you will go through that pain. Change that conviction. Without that conviction's change, whatever effort that we stride in the name of spirituality, we would not have moved even an inch. And that conviction, when it changes, it is called introvertedness. It has got nothing to do with your external interaction with the world outside. I am talking in a Vedantic sense. Just because somebody is sitting in a corner silent doesn't mean they are introvert. Just because somebody is actively involved with the world outside doesn't mean they are extrovert. Now you look at the different pairs of Guru and the Shishya pairs. Write one here. Tapovan Maharaj never moved out of Uttarkashi. If he at all moved out of Uttarkashi, he went more Uttara, never Dakshina. Never went south in his life. And how was his Shishya? There was not a single country that he has not stepped into, there is not a single place, Hindu community, that he has not addressed. You mention Chinmaya Mission, Chinmayananda, anywhere in the world, oh, he was here in 1968 for the first time, meaning he had come after that also. Even in South America, that was a recent discovery of mine. While he was in California, he had visited South America also and spoken to lots of universities, lot of things. He was that extrovert. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa never left the feet of Kali Mata. Vivekananda kept traveling. Yukteswar Maharaj, he stayed, I think it was also in Calcutta, he stayed only there. His Shishya, Yogananda, travelled every possible place in those days. In fact, he was one of the first ones, he was the first one, I think, Indian from India, who was invited into the White House way back then. See, it has got nothing to do with how you do with the outside world or how you don't deal with the outside world. It is that vision, it is that conviction that has to change. And what is the conviction's change? Dhruvam adhruveshu iha na prarthayante. Do not expect the unlimited source from the limited things around. They cannot give you that. Now, with that conviction in here, go interact every single interaction, check if anything can disturb you. You can challenge the entire world. You cannot disturb me. You know, sometimes the children come, pull the fast one. So, I was in recent small grade. Swamiji, are you scared of anything? No. The child, and I closed my eyes. So, as soon as I closed my eyes, see, you got scared. The game would be fine. But when the world of limitations blows at you, you know that they cannot snatch anything from you. You may have to go through the experience. I am not saying you can avoid it. You may have to go through the experience. But while going through the experience, what is the hope? Like the kids, teasingly they say, ne, 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 ne. You can say it to every experience. What? You cannot touch me. Try how much ever you may. So, continuing on the same stride, look at the kind of scientific logical approach with which Lord Yama gives the message. And it's a very important pointer in spiritual unfoldment. So, developing on that, he continues, he says, Yena rupam rasam gandham Shabdan sparshanscha maithunan Yete naiva vijanati Kimatra parisishyate Ye tadvai tat. What a beautiful subtle standpoint. Sometimes when you read such pointers, you just want to stay in that understanding, not utter a single word. That intense is the mantra. So it says, Yena rupam rasam gandhan shabdan sparshan maithunan Etan eva vijanati Etad vaitat kimatra parisishyate. This is the truth. Nobody has been able to point truth so openly, so beautifully like here. We can see, we can taste, we can smell, we can speak, we can touch, and we can enter the world of dualities. Here Maithunan doesn't just mean the sexual content or context. It means any duality for that matter is known, is experienced only when the Atman gives the permission, as if it were giving the permission to the individual organs of perception to perceive the world outside. Because of whose presence I can see, because of whose presence I can smell, taste, touch and do whatever I am doing. There is nothing that the Atman has not known, because the knowing happens because of its presence. And then he says, what else is there to be known? That twist here is the most amazing part. We keep jumping around. I want to see that, I want to get this, I want to do this. It's almost like an itch, like an eczema. See, there is nothing wrong going out into the world, seeing if it happens. But we go out into the world with what was his name? We had this poetic thing wherein he would assume himself to be a knight, and he would think that the windmills, Don Quicksword, Okay, Don Quixote in American language. He would wear the knight's robes and attack the windmills thinking that they are dragons, and come back to narrate big tales that was almost sucked by the tongue of the dragon. It was a windmill, it hit him pretty hard and threw him really far away. We are like that, attacking the world, every opportunity, trying to penetrate through the unpenetrable walls of the, so that I can squeeze the bliss out of it. And in that effort, what is retained as an experience? Nowhere close to bliss. It is a tur, bliss tur, a whole life full of blisters. See, don't get this mantra wrong again. It is not portraying, painting a pessimistic picture of the world of interactions. No. Just change your vision, change your purpose of interaction. You are interacting and involving with the same world. But not wanting anything from it. Why? That which is the source of knowing everything is right here. It is limited, it cannot give. It is the first step. What is the second step? To know that or understand intellectually that which is the source of all knowing is the Atman. There is nothing else to be known, there is nothing else to be researched. All that is right here. And here look at the directness of the message. Yama must be pointing right at Nachiketa's heart and saying, Ye tat vaitat. Nachiketa, this is the truth. That fruit which is orange color, that which has a citrusy smell as you peel the skin. It is like a round globe. You can separate it into different segments. That fruit is called orange. Right? Why? I can only give the description of it and refer to it as that. If you have had an earlier experience of it, that one. But if there is this flower, how would I refer to it? Would I refer to that flower? I would say, this flower is what I was talking about. Etad vaitat. So here Nachiketa has been persistently asking the question and look at the persistence with which Yamaraja is inspired to answer. He says, he doesn't say that which you are asking, he says, this is the truth, know it. You kept asking me if I knew that, this is the truth, experience it. He's like opened up a fruit and I said, this is it now, here you go. What else to be known more? There is nothing else worth to be known. It happens as a part of interaction, let it happen. There is neither a resistance nor a rejection, let it happen. but my eagerness or the itch to grab onto that world is no more. Agate swagatam kuryat. When it comes, welcome. Dance, celebrate. Why? It has come. Nirgate nanivarayet. When it goes, dance, celebrate. It has gone. When you bring Ganesha home on Ganesha Navratri times, you celebrate his coming. And you do the Visarjana. It is not with the tears like, oh Ganesh, you are going, nothing. That also is a celebration. And not understanding this, we have lots of videos uploaded. How can you abandon your gods like this mercilessly? Understand the concept, Baba. And there is so-called our own Hindu community. They forward these news articles and Swamiji, what is your answer? It is such a disturbing scene. Grow, will you please? Understand the concept. That Lord which you have brought from your heart into that Murti has been replaced again into that heart. What is being churned back into the ocean or into the lake is just the Mrunmaya, is just the mud in which I had invoked the Chinmaya, that blissful nature. When it comes, celebrate it. When it goes, celebrate it. There is no extra added value to the experience. The moment you add a quotient of value to it, it starts burdening. It starts creating a noose around our neck. Devalue the value system. There is nothing good, nothing bad. There is nothing positive, nothing negative. The light which illumines the satsanga, the light which illumines the temple space, the light which illumines the, how do you say it, ghettos. Does the light become impure because it is on the street of these ghettos? Or does the light feel divine when it is illumining the temple? Same difference. Nothing good, nothing bad. Light per nature is divine. Don't get caught up in this value system of good and bad. Dvandvatito bhava. Get beyond the dvandvas. Don't get caught up. And somebody cooks and serves. Swamiji, it is good. Is it good or bad? Gunpoint question. बताते हो कि नहीं? I have a very simple answer. Fulfilling. पेट भर गया. Because the purpose of food is only that much. Swamiji, you never give any compliments. See, the food good, food bad, it is a compliment to the food, not to you. The oranges were tasty, thank you. Did you make them? Somebody made it. Somebody harvested it. Somebody brought it to the market and we need the credit. Good way. And when people say, Swamiji, today's something that was made or something that was really good. I said, thank you. Or today's puja was great. Or today's today's sunrise did you see or sunset did you see? It was so beautiful. I said, thank you. When you can take credit for other things, why not take credit for these things also? Get out of the value system. Now, here when I say value system, it is not the value, morals, ethics and virtues. The value system that I am talking about is branding with any quotient of dvandva, polarities. Yete naiva vijanati kimatra parisishyate. And he is not asking a question, it is an objection. Is there anything else worthwhile to know in this world? भागे जा रहे हैं. Pause. Do you know why you are running? Because everybody is running. That is called sheep flock mentality. And everybody doesn't like to be called a sheep flock mentality either. I am unique. In trying to find the uniqueness, we are sheep flock mentality. Be yourself. I said the scriptures say be yourself. It means be your true self. Don't be anything else. Sarva dharman parityajya. Drop all other dharma. Sarvan anyan dharman parityajya. Mam svatmanam ashritya. Take that, surrender to that self within. There is nothing else worthwhile to be known. Moving forward, we will read the mantra today, see the meaning tomorrow. Swapnantam jagaritantam chobhau yenanupashyati mahantam vibhumatmanam matva dhiro na shochati. Swapnantam jagaritantam chaubhau yena anupashyati. The one who has seen the very end of the waking world, the one who has seen the very end of the dream world. Ubhau yena anupashyati. Pashyati, to see, happens as a default processing because the eyes are open. Anupashyati understands the depth of the waking world and the dream world. And thus understanding the waking world and the dream world and its depth, mahantam vibhumatmanam matva, comes to the conclusion that all that is to know is mahantam vibhum atmanam, the self which has the immense capacity to express in multiple ways. Vividam bhavati vyaktam vyakta rupena. Mahantam, it is the greatest ever. Dhiraha na shochati. Right from the 11th sloka of 2nd chapter of Bhagavad Gita to the end, sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tva sarva papebhyaha mokshayishyami. What is the last word? Ma shucha. Where is it copied and pasted from? Here. Right from the first 11th sloka's Upadesha till the end, Bhagavan's message was one consistent, persistent message. You have no authority to weep around with the worldly things. No shoka with regards to the world. Shoka happens because of moha. How do you get out of moha? Change the conviction. So that we have seen, but we will see the depth of understanding the end of dream world, understanding the end of waking world after we wake up tomorrow. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.